Donna Shirley had been dreaming about going to Mars ever since she was a young engineer working right here at Oklahoma University. But when Donna Shirley was young, girls weren't supposed to grow up to lead serious American space programs, but she became the first woman to do just that.
I always wanted to be an aerospace engineer. We looked at MIT, we looked at Georgia Tech, and MIT is right in the middle of a big city, Georgia Tech is in the middle of a big city, and I was scared to death. And so we said, you know, it'd probably be better to go to the University of Oklahoma, where at least people speak Okie. It was a terrible time for women to be pursuing engineering because there weren't any other women.
For Donna Shirley, what led up to this moment was an Oklahoma childhood full of lessons and challenges that would serve her well during the difficult years in engineering school.
The professors didn't know what to do with us. And, you know, they didn't really want us in engineering, or at least some of them didn't.
After starting her career at McDonnell Aircraft, Donna Shirley soon lands a job at NASA working for JPL.
I saw an ad for aerodynamicists at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
And in 1966, she joins a team of scientists whose mission is to land a probe on Mars.
The professional writing degree was handy all the way through my engineering career to write coherently so that when you're writing something, it comes out and people can understand it, is a skill that you learn in journalism.
Since her days as the junior voice of Mariner 10 and the voice of Voyager, she has been a gifted communicator with a rare talent to relay technical information without losing a sense of awe and excitement.
One of the things I got to do was to be the junior voice talking about the mission.
Exactly what's going to happen when it gets up to Mars.
When it's going to get to Mars, that was where I first really got my, quote, second career as a spokesperson for JPL. We designed great big rovers, and then there was kind of a crazy little group who was looking at little bitty rovers. So there was this big contest between Robbie, the big rover, and Rocky, the little rover. Rocky operated like a bug. When it comes to an obstacle, it does not say, aha, this is a rock. What it does is it bumps into it and goes, ugh, and it moves around and bumps into it, and ugh, it finally gets around it and then goes on walking along. While Robbie would come up to a rock and it would look at it and it would think. And it would take 3 hours for it to figure out its way around this rock and then find a clear path. So it was big and it could climb over big obstacles, but it was stupid.
After several disastrously expensive missions, NASA wisely changes strategy. Now, the key words are better, faster, and cheaper.
We found out that there was no way to pay for sending a great big huge rover to Mars, and so if we were going to send a rover to Mars, it had to be little.
Sojourner Truth is only $25 million.
Main engine start. 1, 0, and liftoff of the Delta rocket with Mars Pathfinder.
It took 6 months to get to Mars. We landed on July 4th. When it's landing, all these events have to happen. There were, I think, 147 pyrotechnic events, and came in, slowed down, then a big parachute popped out, and then these big airbags popped out all the way around it. Then some rockets fired, and it bounced and rolled and tumbled and bounced and bounced and bounced. Finally came to a stop, and then the spacecraft had 3 petals that opened like a flower, and the rover was sitting on one of the petals.
It's a very good sign, everybody.
I believe I have a firm signal.
When it makes it, there's great cheering going on. And here I am out there in the July sun, getting to watch this on this little tiny TV screen. Oh yes, boy am I pumped. Wow, we never expected to get the signal this way. We never expected it. I mean, this is the best news imaginable.
Well, by far, the star of this mission is the plucky rover, which upstaged the lander the minute it rolled onto the Martian soil.
We had 47 million internet hits the first week. Television had the defining moment of the guys landing on the moon. The defining moment for the internet was the landing of the Pathfinder.
Today on Masters of Technology, meet space engineer Donna Shirley. Unlike many inventors, Shirley's forte is working and managing creative teams. And for her, the more minds, the better.
After being on all these projects and watching how the project managers worked, I was able to kind of come up with some rule of thumb ideas and wrote a book called Managing Creativity.
Are you tough? Are you demanding? Are you bossy? Are you creative? Are you
Yes.
friendly? What's your, all of the above?
All of the above.
Really?
You know, as long as everybody's willing to work together, for instance, and everybody's putting their best into it, you don't have to be bossy. You have to get agreement. You get what I call alignment.
Everything I've done has been interesting, and not all of it's been tremendously successful, but it's all been interesting, and it was very rewarding.
Here's to the spacecraft, all right! What a team.